Hello, and welcome. I'm Excellite, and this is my channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about a man who confessed to the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, but was never arrested or actually considered a suspect in the case. So, before we get started, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. And also, if you are not subscribed, please don't forget to do so. And when you do, click that bell, and you'll be notified when my content goes live. All right, let's get into this, shall we? I think that there are very few people above a certain age that don't remember the O.J. Simpson saga. The fact that in the early morning hours of June 13th, 1994, the bodies of 35-year-old Nicole Brown Simpson was found. She was nearly beheaded. And her friend, 25-year-old Ronald Goldman, both brutally stabbed, both with many defense wounds, especially Ron Goldman. He was there to give Nicole a pair of sunglasses that she had left in a restaurant earlier in the day during a family celebration. I could tell you where I was when I saw the quote-unquote white Bronco chase, which was a lot more like a white Bronco Sunday drive down the freeway. There were even people along the freeway who were cheering the juice on. Law enforcement officials went to O.J. Simpson's house at about 4:30 in the morning to inform him that his ex-wife had died, and they immediately noticed what appeared to be a blood stain on his Ford Bronco. There was much, much more evidence, and I don't think that many of us will forget the day that O.J. Simpson was acquitted of the crime. Shockingly, by the way, was someone who watched that trial every single day, and it was the beginning of what is now our 24-hour news cycle. Most people believed that O.J. Simpson got away with murder, the murder of two people, the murder of the mother of his children. But for those who believe that he was innocent, they have come up with theories about what could have happened. And one of those is a theory presented in 2012 in a documentary which is called My Brother, the Serial Killer. In that documentary, it is suggested that the two people were actually killed by a serial killer named Glenn Edward Rogers. ABC News reports that Clay Rogers, his brother, has been quoted as saying that he is absolutely certain that my brother killed Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman. He underlined that with the fact that Glenn had the means and the opportunity to kill them, as he was working as a house painter in the area where they were murdered. Glenn also reported that his brother had mentioned Nicole Brown Simpson to his family for up to 3 weeks before she was murdered. ABC News reported that Glenn Edward Rogers told his brother and sister that he met Nicole Brown Simpson, and he noted that she was very wealthy. He also allegedly mentioned that he planned to, quote-unquote, take her down on at least one occasion. In a later interview with criminal profiler Anthony Mioli, Rogers claimed that O.J. Simpson hired him to steal a pair of earrings that he had given his former wife while they were still married. According to Rogers, O.J. Simpson ordered him to kill Nicole during the robbery. Rogers also provided specific details about the deaths of Nicole and Ron, which further supported his claim that he had actually committed the brutal murders. ABC News reported that in addition to knowing details about the murders, Rogers was able to draw a detailed picture of the knife that he claims to have used to kill the victims. Meoli said that the picture very closely resembled the weapon that was likely used to commit these murders, but was never found. Filmmaker David Monahan said that he believes that the information provided by Rogers and his brother, combined with his confession to the criminal profiler, should have been enough to prompt an official investigation into his possible involvement. Remember, he's not saying that he did it alone. He is saying that O.J. Simpson paid him to do it. ABC News reported that Ron Goldman's father disagrees. When asked about the information presented in the documentary, Fred said that the fact of the acquittal at the hands of the jury will never wash away this murder from the hands of O.J. Simpson, no matter how many Glenn Rogers pop up on the media radar screen. But keep in mind, he did give very detailed description of the murders and draw the murder weapon, and he didn't say he did it by himself. O.J.'s hands would still not be washed clean of this murder. The very well-known news analyst Dan Abrams has admitted that the filmmaker has created a compelling case. However, he said that Glenn Edward Rogers' confession did not negate the sheer volume of evidence proving that O.J. Simpson was directly responsible for the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. Rogers was ultimately arrested 6 weeks after Nicole and Ron were found murdered, and law enforcement officials said that he went on a crime spree and is suspected of more than 70 murders throughout the United States. Rogers was convicted of several murders and was subsequently sentenced to death in both California and Florida. However, he was never arrested or indicted in Nicole and Ron's murders, nor was he ever even mentioned as a person of interest in those crimes. So what do you think? Is it possible? As we know, O.J. Simpson went on to write a book that was supposed to be hypothetical, and it was called If I'd Done It, and he does clearly state that there was somebody with him that helped him, that he couldn't have done it by himself. So, what do you guys think? Was it only O.J. Simpson? Was it O.J. Simpson and an accomplice? The man confessed and was also guilty of killing 70 other people. He had mentioned Nicole Simpson for the 3 weeks leading up to her murder and said that he was going to take her down. Why don't you let me know what you think below? Thank you for coming to my channel, and good night.